Good day, everyone. I'm your host, Nadia Holtz from sportsbookreview.com. Please make sure to join in our conversation on Twitter, #SBRNatia. Certainly the biggest team story heading into 2014 is whether Seattle can be the first club in the decade to repeat. But the biggest individual storyline revolves around Peyton Manning. Joining us now to look at his NFL props for the season is professional handicapper Matt Jordan. Matt, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Sure. So obviously Manning is a year older. He is now 38, which makes him a touch more injury prone. Can we assume his stats will go down? And if so, what is a reasonable drop off for Manning?
Well, they know what they say when you say assume, it makes an ass out of you and me. But yes, I mean, obviously no one's thrown for that many yards, 5,477, or that many touchdowns again. So I think assume is very safe. He's clearly not going to match that again. Everything went right. You don't want to say more injury prone. I guess he is because he's 38, but he's only had one season where he's missed games. But he does have a very tender neck. It's hard to forecast. Denver's still going to be very, very good, but he also plays in a very wintry city. He kind of got lucky with that last year. I would think at least 20% on both, which is still pretty good numbers. That's about 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns fewer, which still MVP type numbers and really more in line with kind of a normal season that he would have.
Okay, so let's take a look at Manning's props, courtesy of Bovada and Sportsbook.com. Manning is giving an over-under of 4,900 passing yards and 40.5 touchdown passes and 11.5 interceptions. All options at -115. Do you think Manning will break Brett Favre's all-time record of 508 touchdown passes?
Yeah, the Bovada has a prop on that and when it'll happen. If it's before week 7 is the favorite at -130, and week 8 or later is even money. Like I say, the key there, if bettors need to realize, is they're saying week, not game. Like last year, Manning had 18 touchdown passes by week 5, but he had 7 in the first game, and they didn't have an early bye week last year. This year they have a bye week in week 4, so you have to take that into consideration. I don't think it'll be before week 8, just because of that bye week. And he faces like a Seattle defense. He might not get any against them. I would take week 8 or later. Plus, if he has one minor injury, misses a game, before, then you're covered for the back end. So I would take week 8 or after at even money. And I think he's under the passing yards, just barely under the touchdowns and just over the interceptions.
So what numbers do you think he'll achieve at the end of the season, and when will he break that record?
Yeah, I think something around 4,750 yards, around 38 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. Again, still that's going to make him a Pro Bowler, be in the MVP conversation. Any quarterback right now would take that. Any NFL head coach would say, sign me up. So that's pretty good. As far as the record, I just think karma is pointing toward week 9. When they visit New England, the annual Tom Brady, Peyton Manning game might be the last time they ever play in the regular season, maybe ever, if they don't make it in the playoffs this year. So I think it would be perfect if he did it week 9, which is, he'd average about 2 touchdowns a game and then break it in week 9.
Well, I can't wait to see Manning in action when the new season kicks off. But as his ad says, if you don't sweat it, you don't get it. So Matt, thank you for joining us. And for SportsbookReview.com, this is Nadia Holtz.